Did Kyle Tucker just remember that he's freaking Kyle Tucker? If he did, the rest of the league is in trouble. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central. This is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I am your host, Mike Jones. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode. Listen, your boy is hype. I ain't got to talk about it. You already know if you watched the game. If you didn't, what the heck else were you doing? The Chicago Cubs go ahead and plummet those Los Angeles Angels 12-1 on the back of the often talked about, often criticized Kyle Tucker. That's right. Also, we do have to admit, Reese McGuire did also add in a grand slam into this game. Listen, let me tell you something. Things could get scary if the Chicago Cubs offense remembers who they can be, if these guys are starting to come out of their slumps. We got to talk about it. Listen, first and foremost, the Chicago Cubs do go ahead and go 20 games above 500, 75 and 55 on the season. Listen, this is what we needed. This is what we needed to see. You needed to see a game like this in order to have Cub fans come back and realize that this team is still dangerous. And for me, honestly, this episode would be a lot of apologizing on my part. I mean, obviously, Kyle Tucker deserved a lot of the criticism that he received, and the management definitely deserves the criticism they received. But I might have went a little bit too hard on Kyle Tucker. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first and foremost, let's get down to business. Right. The Chicago Cubs did face the Los Angeles Angels on Saturday night. And listen, the Chicago Cubs did all the scoring outside of one run. In the third, Kyle Tucker homered to right. And Bush scored. In the fourth, McGuire homered, and Happ scored, Horner scored, and Swanson scored. In the sixth inning, Bush singled to right, and then Castro scored. McGuire went to second. In the sixth inning, also Kyle Tucker homered to right center again. McGuire scoring and Michael Bush scoring. In the seventh, Dansby Swanson doubled to left. Owen Casey scored and Horner to third. And then in the seventh again, Reese McGuire hit a sacrifice fly to center, and that scored Nico Horner. The only run given up by the Chicago Cubs was, of course, to no one's shock, given up by Ben Brown, who gave up a home run to Adele to right center. Now, listen, we have to talk about your pick to perform player of the game. Who is your pick to perform player of the game? That's right. It is one man, Cade Horton. Why? Cade Horton went 6 innings. He allowed 3 hits. His earned runs during that game were literally 0. He only allowed 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 74 pitches, 55 of those strikes, a 2.88 ERA. Y'all, let me tell you something. Cade Horton is showing you right now that he can be an ace for this team. The Chicago Cubs hit the jackpot with Cade Horton. Patience paid off. Waiting on those injuries paid off. Cade Horton, since the All-Star break, after the All-Star break, has an ERA of 0.49. That's right, 0.49. This dude has been lights out for the Chicago Cubs. And that's why this is the episode we're going to talk about Cade Horton. Cade Horton is so important to this team. Why? Because you need guys that can do what Cade Horton can do. That strikeout pitch, the fastball almost hitting 100 on the gun, and then of course how he's able to maneuver his pitches and use the strike zone to get out. This is what's truly important for the Chicago Cubs. Now, listen, I'm here to tell you guys, I have not ever left the bandwagon of the Chicago Cubs making the playoffs. I just think that the division might be out of hand. Although the Milwaukee Brewers did lose tonight, the Chicago Cubs are now 6 games from the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Milwaukee Brewers have a much tougher schedule than the Cubs. This could get interesting. The pennant race is not over yet. But with guys like Cade Horton pitching like this, there's no telling what could happen for the Chicago Cubs. And we just have to continue to look out for what they're going to do and what they could potentially be, man. Just keep on watching. Keep on watching the games, y'all. Keep up with the team. I had to encourage some of my friends. I'm like, look, I know it's tough. I know some of these games are tough watches, especially games that look like they should be winnable. But listen, we got to keep supporting the guys. And, like I said, the good things I think are ahead on the horizon for the Chicago Cubs, and good things are on the horizon for you. Also, we'll talk about that right after this very special commercial break. What's going on, Chicago Cubs Central family and friends? What's going on, guys? Listen, it's your boy Mike Jones. I'm taking a break from the pod to talk to you about a new product that I, for one, believe in 110%. Guys, I know you must think to yourself, man, Mike Jones not only runs a podcast, he also has his own DJ business. He also works a full-time job. He also still manages to keep up with his family. He also serves in the community. And on top of that, he keeps up with the Chicago Cubs. Mike, how are you doing it all? Listen, let me tell y'all something. Since me and my wife had our baby, sleep has been at a minimum for your boy. But let me tell you something. When sleep was at a minimum, Duppy stepped in. That's right. Dubby stepped in and helped your boy out. This new product, Dubby, that I believe in, I think, guys, is phenomenal. What is Dubby? Dubby is an all-natural energy drink that you make right at home yourself. That's right. You see over here to the left of me, we got Dubby tumblers. We also have the product with the powder. You can mix it with water. You can mix it with whatever favorite type of drink that you have. And Dubby does the trick. It adds the energy to your day. And it keeps you going, man. And it's crazy because usually when I used to drink like 5-hour energies or something like that, I would always get super jittery. But with Dubby, I never, ever, ever feel the jitters. What's some other things I love about Dubby? Well, Dubby is zero sugar. Dubby also has no artificial colors or dyes. It has a secret hidden formula and ingredients. It's also gluten-free for those of you that might have a gluten allergy. On top of that, all of the flavors are unique. That's right. You will not find these flavors anywhere else. The drink comes out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than anything you'll find at Starbucks or a 5-hour energy drink even. And of course, I know you're going to love this. It's made right here in the US of A. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Don't wait. I'm telling you now, go ahead and get your free trial of Dubby. All you have to do is type in Cub Central Pod 2024 and you get 10% off your order. That's right. Cub Central Pod 2024. You get 10% off your order when you order today. Don't wait, guys. Let me tell you something. Now is the time. Dubby is changing lives and it can change your life too. All you got to do is hit that promo code and find Dubby products. That's right, guys. Dubby online. You can go find every single thing that you need. I'm telling you guys right now, you won't regret it. Dubby is the place to go. So once again, make sure that you guys use that Cub Central Pod 2024. Use that promo code and you will get 10% off your order. Don't wait. Don't delay. Get Dubby today. The Chicago Cubs needed Ben Brown to also come into today's game, and he absolutely stepped up also. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, only 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts on 44 pitches, 30 of those being strikes. Today's game was a masterclass in what happens when things just click right for the team. Listen, and it all started with Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker was down to 258 batting average and then literally raised his batting average up to 262 in just this one game by hitting those 2 home runs. He now has 21 home runs on the season. Kyle Tucker, you get an A+ for your efforts today. I would love to see what would happen if Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, and Pete Crow Armstrong could all figure it out at the same time. Listen, this club would be dangerously unstoppable. It's one of those things where I look at the Chicago Cubs and I say to myself, man, if we can keep this up, if we can get PCA and we can get Seiya Suzuki back hitting like they were pre-All-Star break, there's no telling what this club could do, man. There's no telling what this club could do. And I'm telling you guys now, we're in for a fun rest of the season. We're a week out of September. And, you just got to feel good for Kyle Tucker. You got to feel good for Kyle Tucker. Today has to be one of those days where you have 5 RBIs, where you have 2 home runs, where you score 2 runs yourself. It's one of those days you just feel good. You feel good as long as you've been struggling, everything you've been through with the injury and everything like that. It just feels good to be able to go out there and say, man, I really contributed. Not only did he contribute, but he put the team on his back. The injury might have been playing a bigger part in this than a lot of us wanted to mention. I know I mentioned the injury on here, and I know that a lot of us had things to say about the injury that Kyle Tucker went through, and I know a lot of us were unhappy with the handling of how management dealt with Kyle Tucker's injury. But at the end of the day, Kyle Tucker made a choice to continue to play, and he wanted to play through that injury. He's in a contract year. He is now healed from that fracture, and he showed it tonight. He showed you tonight what he was about. And what is he about? He's about winning. I saw a lot of people on Cubs Twitterverse talking about resign Kyle Tucker. And this is just off of one game of him showing you what he can do. So, I mean, listen, it's a lot of people that need to start a Kyle Tucker apology tour if this is how he's going to play for the next month. If he heats back up, there's going to be some serious bootlicking going on from fans that wanted to get rid of Kyle Tucker, that called him a bum, that called him all these other things. I was of the mindset Kyle Tucker was injured, and if he's injured, keep him out. Do not let him play, because he made mechanical adjustments to compensate for that injury. But those mechanical updates that he made did not help his swing at all, and it was hurting him, and it was in turn hurting the team. He needed to sit. But now that he is back healthy, and now that he is back ready to rock, let him do his thing, man. Let him do his thing. I think that now is the time for Kyle Tucker to show you guys who he really is and why he should command, or why he will command the type of money he will command during the offseason. We'll see what happens. But our last topic of the day, the Chicago Cubs do play the Los Angeles Angels one more time. And guys, this game is going to be downright emotional. You know why? Because we finna see a familiar face, man. We finna see the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Sweet Emotions himself. Kyle Hendricks is on the mound for the Los Angeles Angels tomorrow. As much as the Cubs need to win to keep up with the Brewers, I would not be mad if the masterclass was in session tomorrow and the professor came to teach the Chicago Cubs one more time why he's that dude. I would not be upset at all. I have a special place in my heart for Kyle Hendricks, for everything he did during the National League Championship Series and then during the World Series in 2016. 2013, he made his debut with the Chicago Cubs. And let me tell you something. The kid was lights out from the jump. He was the last man standing from that championship club. And then, unfortunately, after last year was his last year with the Cubs. They wanted to move on, and Kyle Hendricks is still pitching. He is 6-8 with a 4.93 ERA. He will take the mound for the Angels tomorrow. And man, I really have an affinity for Kyle Hendricks. He means a lot to me, and he means a lot to this organization. When you listen to Kyle Hendricks talk about the Chicago Cubs, he talks with such pride in being a Cub. He talks with such pride about the organization. They asked him about the Cubs all weekend. They asked him about facing the Cubs. You would have thought the way he talked, he still played for the Cubs, the way that he talked. And that's that Cubby pride that we love to see, the way that Anthony Rizzo, the way that Chris Bryant, the way that Javier Baez, the way that those guys talk about the Chicago Cubs. this is how Kyle Hendricks also cares and talks about the Chicago Cubs. Hell, John Lester reps the Cubs more than he does the damn Red Sox. It's something about that Cubby blue, y'all. It's something about it, and it overtakes you. The Chicago Cubs will face the Los Angeles Angels tomorrow, and wrap up this series with them. They'll have a day off Monday, and then they will start a 3-game series with the San Francisco Giants on Tuesday. Let me tell you something. I love Kyle Tucker. I mean, I like Kyle Tucker. I love Kyle Hendricks. And I really don't know how to feel about tomorrow's game. I really don't know how to feel about Sunday's game. It starts at 3:07. I want to see some vintage Kyle Hendricks. I do. I want to see him manipulate, and I want to see him do his thing. But I also know the Cubs need to win this game. So I above all, I know the Cubs got to win. But damn, I want to see the professor put class in session one more time, man. One more time, man. Oh, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Some people should just stay in Cubby Blue for their whole career. Kyle Hendricks should have been one of the ones to stay in Cubby Blue for his whole career. But I also know he didn't want to move to the bullpen. He still wanted to be a starter. He's still fairly young too. Actually, he's not super old. So I'm sure. Like I said, after signing this deal with the Angels, I think it's like a 2-year deal, 2 or 3 year deal. I'm sure he'll be around for a little bit longer. He may pitch a couple more years after this. We'll just have to see. But he is a very serviceable pitcher. Still able to do what he needs to do. And yeah, man, that's the episode, man. But of course, you already know, since Chicago Cubs won again, we got to fly that W. That's right. We fly the W every single time the Chicago Cubs win. Also, join the conversation below. Tell me your thoughts on Kyle Tucker. Is there an apology tour headed your way? Do you need to apologize to Kyle Tucker for the things you said about him? Also, the Chicago Cubs bats are back heating up. That's right. After a 12-1 victory. Let me know your thoughts on that. And then, of course, last but not least, Kyle Hendricks takes the mound tomorrow, going up against the Chicago Cubs one more time. And, man, I don't know how many more times we're going to see the professor take the mound. But, damn it, I'm ready for class to be in session tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Remember, go Cubs go. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a voicemail at 217-816-5498 or write me at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com. Until next time, go Cubs go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.